Hi, friends, and welcome to the Dreamer and Doer podcast. I'm your host, Bree Johnson. I designed this space to be a place that we can discuss dreaming big despite the setbacks and fears that come with it. I invite you to come along this journey with me as we embrace our stories and share our journeys. So let's dream big together and get intentional about making it happen. Guys, welcome back to the Dreamer and Doer podcast. I'm your host, Bree Johnson, and I am so excited for this podcast today. I am interviewing a new friend in Waco. Her name is Alexa. So welcome to the show today, Alexa.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here.
So I'm excited to have business owners from Waco on the podcast just to get out more stories of what all the wonderful things going on here. Yeah, why don't you go ahead and tell us kind of who you are, what your business is?
Yeah. So like you said, my name's Alexa Wible, and I am a personal trainer. I work with people in person here in Waco, which is really fun, but I also do online coaching through my program called Stronger You Project. And I also specialize in pregnancy and postpartum training, and am coming out with some things in the future to be able to offer that online.
We'll talk about that
definitely.
At the end of the episode for sure.
Yeah.
So how long have you lived in Waco, and did you think you'd always be here, or did you see yourself living here?
Yeah, so I moved to Waco summer of 2007. So I came here for Baylor. I've been here 11 years, which is really weird to think that I went to college 11 years ago. But I came here for Baylor and definitely didn't think I was going to stay. I had hopes and dreams of moving really specifically to the Pacific Northwest. My brother lives in Portland, so I don't know if you've been to the Oregon area.
I have not, but I want to. It looks magical.
It is magical. It is awesome, and the city's just kind of cool. So that was kind of my vibe and my goal, I guess, after college. But I came and I fell in love with Waco. Yeah, and it's really funny. I mean, now Waco's a lot cooler, but when I came here and all through my college years, it was not cool. And there was nothing to do, and it was kind of a joke if you stayed in Waco over the weekend.
For the college student?
Yeah.
Everyone's like, we leave.
Yeah. Oh, totally. They're like, let's go to Dallas or Austin, or at least somewhere, I don't know, go camping, go to a lake somewhere,
Bonus points for Waco, though, because it's an hour and a half from Austin, hour and a half from Dallas, so that's really nice.
That's the nice thing about it. You can really go for the weekend or for a Saturday, to Austin. But I was the faithful Waco weekender, and I ended up falling in love with it. I don't know. I think it's just the community, when you find a good group of people, it's worth it to stay where they are, and so that was it for me, just finding a really great community and friendships and group of people, and that's what made me want to stick around.
I feel like the community here in Waco is really unique, and I've met so many people. I mean, that was a huge draw for me. You could just sense it coming to the city. Going out to a restaurant, people were always super friendly and they'd talk to you. And then I will say both of us go to Antioch, and I will say 9 out of 10 times the encounters I had were with people from Antioch.
Yes.
And they're just very social people and interact really well with just anyone. And so that has always stood out to me.
Mm-hmm.
So Waco's super unique, and just, you've probably heard this all the time, big town feel now, not that it was even 5 years ago, but there's a lot to do now.
Mm-hmm.
But it still has a small town feel. Even just being here 3 months, I've already quickly and easily met people and gotten plugged in really quickly. Yeah. And I think that's really unique. I don't think that happens very often in other places.
Definitely.
So you came to Waco.
Mm-hmm.
Who else did you fall in love with?
So another reason I stayed in Waco was I met my husband at Baylor. We met my freshman year. It was not love at first sight at all. But by the time I was a senior, he had asked me out and we started dating. And he is a year older than me, so he had graduated but stuck around. And so we dated, we got married. He's from Waco, so his family's around here, and we have stuck around ever since, and we love being here. I don't think we'll move anytime soon, at least not in the near future, right. But I'm not in a rush.
Never say never.
Yeah, exactly. Never say never, but right
Kendall
now.
said he would never move to Waco, and here we are.
Exactly. So we're in no rush to leave, especially just like we said, everything is changing and growing right now, and it's such an exciting time. So we are excited to get to be a part of it,
Yeah, and another new arrival to your family.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I had a baby in January. So he's 6 months old, and he's the best. His name is Davis. And my husband and I have been married 7 years, but he's our first kid. So I was always kind of apprehensive to be a mom just because I knew my life was going to change. I kind of like being independent and doing my own things, and I was so apprehensive to be responsible for another human, but it has been an absolute surprise and joy and delight, and I love it. So it's been great.
Is he what inspired? Were you doing any postpartum or postnatal programs before?
Definitely not. Yeah. And even looking back now, I'm like, wow, I had some clients that were new moms, and I totally did a disservice to them, just not knowing the full picture, but it's okay. But he is really, when I got pregnant, I was training, and I was working out myself and had all these goals and things I was working towards, and then I got pregnant, and there wasn't a lot of information on how to train during pregnancy.
Or if there was, it was all mixed.
Yeah.
Like so many mixed things on all of it.
You have extremes of people who are like, do not do anything, don't lift more than 10 pounds, like just go on walks, which actually was kind of the advice given to me. And then there's the other extreme actually that I saw of people who maybe are athletes or really intense or like Ironman triathletes or CrossFitters who just kind of do exactly what they've been doing all throughout their pregnancy. And it's kind of like, wow, that's a lot, Yeah. So there's kind of those two extreme camps that I found. And so I wanted to be educated. I wanted to be smart about training and, have a healthy pregnancy and work out because it made me feel good, but also be able to adjust as my body changed and grew and, all these things were happening. So I got a pregnancy and postpartum exercise specialist certification. Okay. That's a mouthful, but so I kind of used myself as my own experiment in just learning how to listen to your body and what that means exactly.
Yeah,
and
I was going to say that's like really hard to learn.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just know when to recognize the signals that your body's giving you. It's like a whole, way more than I do. You're the expert.
And it's like your body's changing every week.
Yeah.
So it's like,
or every day.
Yeah. Or every day.
You wake up and you're like, this was not happening yesterday when I went to bed.
Exactly. Yeah. And so it's like what worked for you even yesterday, today may not. I had so many days where I'd go into a workout with a plan and then be like, no, that's not working for me anymore, and just change. And it's okay. Yeah. And I think a lot of times we get the advice to just listen to your body. And I don't think women exactly really know what that means, And so, so I've learned how to listen to your body and what that means and what you're actually listening for,
right. So you got into postpartum after having a baby, but how did you get into fitness, and was it always on your radar? You always thought you would do something in the fitness realm, or were you doing something else before fitness came along?
Yeah, I was doing something else. So I actually have an accounting degree.
Two completely different things.
Yes, I know. It's so weird. So I went through, it's so funny because at Baylor, the accounting program is really great. And so I went through all that stress and all that work. And I did work in accounting for 3 years after I graduated. But fitness wasn't really a part of my life. I was not athletic growing up. I didn't play sports. I was in band. So that was like my athleticism,
right.
Was marching with an instrument. And so I didn't have the background of working out really or training. And so really what happened was my senior year of college, I was going to be in a friend's wedding, and I had gained weight in college. It's inevitable. Yeah. I feel like everyone kind of does, and it's totally fine. But I didn't really care about it until this friend's wedding was coming up, and I kind of was like, maybe I should just start exercising or being more consistent with it so that I can fit better into my bridesmaid dress, you know. And so I started doing cycling classes at Baylor, and I just got hooked and fell in love, and it was so hard, but so good, and started to get consistent with it. And something that drew me to it was just the idea that I can do hard things, and that, you know, getting through a cycling class is hard. Even getting through like one part of the class, you know, like a 5-minute climb or something is hard. And there's so many times where I would doubt myself or feel like I couldn't do something. And even, you know, I started running too. And every time I would add a mile, I would really question myself. Like, I don't think I can do more, you know, and then I always would. And it was just such an empowering feeling that really translated into other areas of my life. You know, all of a sudden I believed like, wow, maybe, okay, I'm doubting myself right now, but maybe I actually can do this thing. You know, I can get outside my comfort zone. I can push myself and accomplish things that I didn't think I could. And so I was really kind of addicted to that feeling with fitness, you know, of just, I can do hard things and I can surprise myself and push outside my comfort zone.
And there's something so like tangible about working out. Like there is a result, or, you know, you see almost, I'm a kind of instant gratification person. Yeah. So it was like, oh, well, I did it. Like I completed it. So I felt really accomplished in whatever it is. What I have kind of been all over the place with my fitness and doing different things, but like I trained for a half marathon, and that was like a big deal because each goal that I met was just like, oh, I didn't think I could get that far. And then I would run that far and be like, that was amazing. I can't believe I did it. Yeah. But then on the other hand, like a lot of things parallel to like spiritual side of things, mentally, just like heart issues that my brain would kind of put them together, like working out. I can't think, well, I could think of specific things. Like a recent one for me, I was running and talking about like hard things was I really wanted to stop because my legs were like burning. But everyone knows like your first like 5 minutes of getting into a run, you're like, this sucks. I want to quit. I don't want to do this anymore. Yeah. But I just felt like I needed to keep going and not quit and just push through those hard moments. And that's kind of when the growth happened for me. And so I realized like, hey, this translates to like my walk with God. If I'm running and it's getting hard and I want to stop, like stopping does nothing for me. And every single time I'm disappointed in myself that I stopped, you know? Totally. I'm like, I didn't need to stop. I could have kept going. Yeah. And so I would see those kind of translation or those parallels. And I don't know. That's what I love about working out. And probably the most out of anything. I mean, I like the physical results too, but the lessons I kind of get from it. Yeah. So.
Oh, I agree. And that's why I made the switch, honestly, to fitness full time. Was I was teaching some classes on the side of my full-time job, doing accounting, and there's just all kinds of people at the gym, and you have this weird authority in their lives, you know, because they do come to the gym to relieve stress, and it's their own me time. And so like you said, it's not just physical, it's emotional and spiritual. And so these people would come and just share their life with me. And I even remember one guy shared something with me, and then he was like, I don't know why I just shared that with you. You know, and I'm like, you know, and so I loved just the ability to be able to speak into people's lives. It was just kind of this new avenue to be able to do that and to speak truth beyond just a physical like encouragement, you know, just being there
like
for
doing
them.
Something hard together, and you're like, hey, we did this together.
Yeah, there's a connection there, you know. And so I really felt like I was able to reach out to more people and to, I don't know, speak more truth in life to people through fitness than what I was doing before. So I made the switch about 5 years ago.
So you've been doing fitness full time for 5 years.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow, that is awesome though.
It's crazy. Yeah.
I wanted to talk to you about just some of your like current struggles and kind of life lessons you've been learning. And you mentioned before this that you guys just got back from Austin, and y'all were there on a sabbatical.
Yes.
And so we kind of talked a little bit beforehand about what that looked like and how it's kind of like the lessons you've learned through that season of rest versus like another season you walked through. So I would love for you to share your struggle over the past couple years of what it looks like. Are you a business owner when you work at the gym, or like independent contractor?
Yeah, definitely.
So, but you're still like your own boss essentially.
Yeah, definitely.
So kind of maintaining, you know, life and the other aspects and having a business.
Yeah. So, I would say really in the past 5 years, I've struggled so much with just feeling, the best way to describe it is kind of this glorification of busyness. And what I mean by that is just saying yes and yes and yes to different things because I feel like I need to, or I feel like this feeling of, oh, what if I'm not doing enough?
Yeah.
Then I need to do more. And I could say maybe on the surface it's kind of a people-pleasing thing, or I want people to be happy with me, but it's also, I think, deeper. It's a place that I would find value, the more I could do and the busier I was and the more I'm giving to other things or other people, like the more valuable of a person I am, maybe, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so I think it was so much for me because it hit that place of identity or value of who I am, and my husband and I both struggle with this. We can really easily, we get along really well and are best friends, obviously, but we can so easily be like business partner mode, and just like get things done. If anyone's into Enneagram, he's a 3 and I'm a 6. And the dynamics of that are that we do get along really well, but we're responsible and we're really on top of it and we like to accomplish. And so we have found seasons where we have fallen into that a lot.
Does he help you with your business?
Not really.
Or he's kind of doing
he does his own thing. So he works at our church. He was a worship pastor, and now he does service production.
Okay.
And so he's busy with his own stuff. Gotcha. And so he does that full time.
We had this discussion last night with some friends of like, how do you balance business and still be married? Like the marriage side of things.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not, I think I've talked about it in previous podcasts. I'm like, yeah, guys, I've still got nothing for you.
Oh yeah.
Because I have not learned the trick yet.
Yeah.
It's just hard.
It is hard.
Every day is like a different journey of kind of figuring that all out. I'm sure, for anyone with like an 8 to 5, 9 to 5, whatever job, that you would still have those issues, like talking about work. That's where you're spending most your day.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit different when you're actually like business partners.
Yeah. And he doesn't do too much with my fitness stuff, but he's more of my like soundboard. Like he's so strategic and smart. Gosh. He's smart.
That's nice.
He should be in the business world.
So is mine. I'm like, mine is too, but it's nice to have a husband that's like supportive. Obviously, like he just set up all this podcast stuff, so he's totally in it.
Yeah.
Too, but just having a supportive husband and all that.
Oh,
and who will help you definitely makes a difference too.
Yeah, definitely. He's amazing with all that. So he really helps me kind of sort through my ideas and bring clarity.
Are you like an idea person where you get like 100 ideas?
Yes.
And then you're like, I just need someone.
Follow through is hard for me.
Yes, same.
Yeah.
I can come up with all the ideas and then plan it out. And then there's so many I'll have. And he's like, I don't think that's going to work. I'm like, okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's how we are. I think I have a lot of ideas and then he helps me actually
rein it in.
Yeah.
Like,
and say like, here's a next step you can take to actually make this happen. Yes. You know what I mean? So he's really good about that. But yeah, so we struggle with that. And I think this is so funny because I'm actually going to have a challenge soon about balance. But I think this idea of balance is kind of a myth. But like, not really. But I think we have this idea of balance where everything in our life is in perfect harmony and everything in our life is balanced. And I don't really believe that that's possible. Like if you're a mom and you're starting a new business, like your mothering is going to like struggle a little bit or, you're going to need help. You're going to have days where you have a babysitter or someone, like
almost like we think balance is having it all.
Exactly.
And like you
can't. Yeah.
But it's just knowing like not swaying too far to one extreme to the other.
Yeah. And I think just picking, what I always think of is just picking 2 or 3 things that are my big things that I'm giving myself to in that season, And so usually it's for me being a wife, being a mom, and business.
Yeah.
And so just saying like, hey, those are the things that I need to focus on, having a good balance, having good boundaries, being committed to them, but not too extreme. And maybe some other things will kind of suffer for that, but that's the sacrifice I'm willing to make to really make these 3 or 4 things count, you know? And to me, that's what a balanced life is saying, what do I want my life to look like? What do I want to give myself to? And so that's what I'm going to focus on. You know, that's what I'm going to give myself to. And I am accepting that with knowing that maybe some other things may struggle for a little bit, you know, but that doesn't mean in a later season I won't give myself to those things, you know. So
there's always an ebb and flow. That's the other thing.
Exactly.
Like, life became so much easier when I realized there were seasons, like, and those seasons are okay and they're needed. And so something's not going to always look a certain way. Like, so you just have to be ready to go with the flow and know that it's not always going to be the same or what you have planned. And I like what you said about that. One of the things like I've been working through this year is like, if I give my yes to something, that means I'm saying no to something else. And so like, I don't want to give the no to the people close to me. So if that's suffering, like I have to set those boundaries for myself. And speaking of Enneagram, I'm still not quite ready to say it, but I think I might be a 2. And that's like a huge thing for 2 is like setting boundaries. And I'm like, okay, that might be me. Like just wanting to give away so much. But so I'm seeing where the unhealthy lies in that of just like giving away so much that there's nothing left for either me or the people closest to me. But yeah, it's such a fine line to walk with all of that, just busyness, which I totally get and understand, because basically you just want to work smarter, not harder.
Exactly.
And so like,
which is a huge part of fitness and what I do. True. You know, people want it all. They want to have their full-time job and their families and also have 6-pack abs. And I'm like, okay, do you know what it takes to get 6-pack abs? Like extreme, you know, dieting and exercise that you don't have the time for or the mental energy, you know? And so,
or being able to sustain that with all of those things. Like,
it's like ultimately that's not what you want, you know? And so helping people be able to recognize like, okay, you want to be healthy and you want to make time for you and you want to honor your body. So let's do that in a way that's realistic for you in your life and for you to still be able to give to the other things that mean the most to you.
And that's something I'm even learning now. Like, why do something extreme for a short period of time that doesn't last? I'm sure everybody realizes that, but it's harder to put into action of like, okay, let's just do something a little bit more maintainable. It's hard to set your eyes on something long term. Yeah. You know?
Oh gosh, Sustainable always wins, you know?
It does though. You're like, just got to realize it's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it. So what's something that keeps you motivated through your business? Let's say specifically for business. What's something that keeps you motivated? Because I know how hard it is to run a business and be a mom and then feel like you're not enough for all of it.
Oh gosh, the mom guilt is real. I think something right now that's really motivating me is just this vulnerable place I feel like moms, postpartum women are in, and pregnant too. But I just think because there's not a lot of education, like I said earlier, I just want so desperately to help women and to get the message out that like just doing a bunch of crunches when you're cleared for exercise is not going to help you, you know, and that there's a smarter way. And even just, I mean, I hope this is not too much information, but even like women who pee on themselves. Like running and jumping. Soccer game. You know, like
sorry guys.
It's I mean,
you know,
I talk about this stuff like
I know,
it's so normal, like, you know.
You know what you got into when you're listening to this podcast. So.
Postpartum women, you know. Like just being able to, it's common, but it doesn't have to be your norm, you know.
And once I realized that too, for me personally, like, and started doing things like, oh, I don't have to do this impact exercise. Like I can still get a good workout with something low impact and while I'm still healing. And then you're not going to be healed in 6 weeks, people.
No, definitely not. And I just feel like there's more important things to worry about when you're coming into exercise. Not worry about, but focus on, really. Like I always tell women, in this period of time, it's so important to focus on how you're moving rather than what exercises you're doing, and I think there's a lot of marketing to new moms and postpartum women of these are the 10 exercises to do to get your abs back in shape or to get your mommy belly gone, or gosh, I just see it everywhere, and it makes me so mad. And it's not as simple or black and white as, hey, here's these exercises to do. For one woman, she may be able to do that and not have problems. And for another woman, she may do it and it may be making her problems worse, you know? And I just think that, I like to focus more on even the simple things like breathing. Like, how are you breathing and using your abs and your pelvic floor when you're breathing, And when you're doing a movement, are you holding your breath? Like, that's going to put a lot of pressure on places in your body that are still healing, And so, so focusing really on how you're doing any movement, rather than like, just avoid this or just do this. Yeah. That's where I really want to. That's the message I really want to give women. And it's so fun when it clicks with women, so.
It's definitely one of those things like you see all the time of just, we know we shouldn't put pressure on ourselves to get your pre-baby body back, which is not going to happen no matter what. Because your body's going to be forever changed. But just that pressure and knowing like back to the sustainability. Like for me personally, after having my daughter, I just did too much too soon, and it ended up sending like my hormones out of whack, and I developed hypothyroidism. And now I look back, I'm like, I wish I would have just rested and not tried to do too much too soon, like feeling like I needed to be super mom and do all the things, like just taking it more slowly. And because then that set me back like a good year. Because then it ended up being like, I just need to rest. Like I didn't work out for almost a year. Just simple things. Like I let kind of motherhood be my workout, like chasing the kids at the park, but not very much activity because I needed like my rest. My body couldn't heal itself.
You need to reset. Yeah. So. And I think a lot of women find themselves, they have that same story of, well, I just jumped back into what I was doing to try to get my body back or to feel normal again or which just that pressure.
With my son, but then, having 2 pregnancies back to back, like after the second, then it was like, okay, that was too much.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Really do the 2 pregnancies back to back, but then doing too much physical activity and taking care of a 17-month-old and a newborn, like
so much.
I wish I would have realized like, okay, my body it needs more rest and low impact and all of that. So it's definitely needed. So one of the questions I was going to ask you is like, what are some things you'd like to see in your industry change? But you've already pretty much touched on that, like just changing that stigma around all that. So what are some strategies you're using to achieve those goals and changing the stigmas around working out as a new mom?
Yeah, really I just talk about it. So I have, on my Instagram or Facebook, I share when I see something that's frustrating.
And in a kind way. That's what I like about it. It's like, there's some people you follow and it's like so extreme. You're like, okay, that might be like a little too much. But like you do it in a very kind and gentle way.
I hope
that's encouraging.
I do. I never want anyone to feel, I don't know, offended. But like a couple weeks ago, I'm in a mom group on Facebook and I rarely ever check it. But for some reason, this one popped up and a mom was reaching out. She's only 7 weeks postpartum and like literally asking about like no carb and keto diets and how to do them while breastfeeding. And it just it came off maybe as anger, but I was just deeply saddened. Really not by the woman, because obviously we've all felt that vulnerability and like, please help me. So I understood her and I feel like I have a lot of compassion for her because that's really, we find ourselves in that place. But it was mostly the comments that she was receiving. No one was saying like, hey, don't worry about that. This is not the time to focus on that. Like, you're okay. Like, you're okay as you are. This is a vulnerable time. Everyone was giving her advice on how to do low carb and to lose weight and not affect your milk supply, and all this stuff. There was even another trainer in there saying stuff and, telling her that eating 1,500 calories a day was okay and maybe to even dip lower than that. And I think that's the part that really frustrated me and made me mad, was just like, we need to help each other realize like the lies that loop through our heads in vulnerable times like that of like, you still have extra baby weight, you need to get it off ASAP, and that sense of urgency. And I feel like we need each other as women to speak truth and say, no, you don't have to do that. You know, like you can you're still only 7 weeks, you know, like bond with your baby, just relax, like just try to get sleep, try to rest.
It feels so heavy in the moment.
Yeah.
But then when you look back, you're like, oh,
yeah.
I don't know if I should have done that.
Yeah, which is why I feel like compassionate for her, because I'm like, I know that sense of urgency. And you, in the moment, you think, 7 weeks is really not that long, you know, like, or it's been a long time since I've had a baby, so I should be further along, you know.
Right.
But then stepping back, you realize like that wasn't even 2 months, you know? Yeah. And I feel like it's even for me thinking like when I was in the throes of newborn life, like I just had to eat whatever was in front of me. Like I can't imagine someone using the brain space to like diet.
Brain space, I like that.
Yeah,
like,
you know?
I don't have the brain space for that.
I do not have the brain space. Yeah. So I literally just ate whatever was in front of me. People would bring us stuff. I would eat it. I didn't think about if it was carbs or fat or, you know, it's just like I need food. And so I just can't imagine. Yeah.
That was the best part.
Yeah. I can't imagine like actually worrying about counting calories or I don't know, whatever.
So sharing on Instagram, and then you have an upcoming project that I feel like goes along with this goal and like changing things in the industry. And I'd love for you to share about that, which we just finished photographing images for it.
Yeah, so I actually have like 3 things coming up.
Share.
So I have Balance Boot Camp. It's a free just 7-day, I'm calling it my online video course, but it's really a Facebook group that I'm going to go on live on every day and just talk about a different.
And who is it for necessarily?
This one's for anyone.
Anyone. Okay.
Like anyone. So it's not just for moms. Okay. Although I think moms would really benefit from it just because like we were talking about this idea of balance, but just bringing truth and balance to ideas around exercising and why more isn't always better. You know, just, I'm even going to talk about sugar and why you can't do it all and it's okay. So that's my free, I guess you could call it challenge, my online video.
When does that start?
July 23rd.
Okay.
So yeah, and I'll have info on all my platforms about that. Then I have, this is for local Waco people. I did one in May, but I'm doing a pregnancy and postpartum exercise workshop.
How did the first one go?
It was awesome. Oh, I loved it. Yeah. That's why I'm like, I need to do this more often. So I'm doing one August 18th. It's a Saturday and it's just 3 hours, 9 to noon. But it's for anyone that's, you know, maybe pregnant, newly postpartum, maybe you haven't had a kid in 10 years. You could still benefit from it.
Right.
Also, you know, birth professionals in the area. So last time I had doulas, midwives, nurses, personal trainers. So it's really for anyone that's just interested in learning about how to help people in this kind of period of their lives, or if you are in that period of your lives, and how to be smart about the way you move. And it's not even just for people who are athletes or into exercising, because if you think about it, your car seat is really heavy, you know, and you pick up toys off the ground every day. And so how do you do that well, you know, and set yourself up for success? And we move and do daily activities every day. And so covering all of that. So that's coming up August 18th. And then I don't have a launch date for this. I'm hoping September 1st, but I have an online postpartum course. And it's a 6-week course. And it'll be go at your own pace. So basically you get it and then you have access to it and you can take your time. But it'll be 6 weeks of workouts. And the idea is just to kind of help you rehab and get back into moving efficiently and functionally.
I like that word with postpartum. Like it is a rehab.
Yeah.
I mean,
totally. Your body
childbirth is intense. Growing a baby is intense. Like there's definitely some rehabilitation that is needed before going into major strenuous activity.
Oh, yeah. Like, someone who breaks their ankle, they go through
I've done that. And it took 6 months to recover.
Exactly.
Or more.
You have to go through therapy and you have to be intentional and to be able for it to function.
And that was just one body part.
Yeah. Like think
pregnancy
about
is like the whole entire body.
Yes, like your whole core.
Yeah.
Even, I mean, this sounds crazy, but even your diaphragm, like you have to learn how to like use that well again, So this covers all of that. And I cover mindset, how to give yourself grace in this period. I cover like really good like anatomy stuff about your core, so again, like we were talking about, how to listen to your body. I cover diastasis recti because that's kind of a thing. People are like, what is that? Do I have it? So I cover that in the course. How to
actually say it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Some people say diastasis too. It's kind of like tomato.
I just call it DR.
Yeah, you can call it DR.
I'm like, that thing.
Yeah.
That I can spell it out.
Yeah. Yeah, I call it diastasis. So, and then there's like an actual workout program that you can start once you get cleared for exercise, but it's more like rehab type movements. And then I really coach you on how to, implement things like breathing techniques and other things that most people don't think about when they move and exercise again. So, I'm really excited about that course. I'm just finishing up the videos for it, and then I'm hoping to launch it in September sometime. So
awesome.
Yeah.
So I want to move into some fun questions that I feel like just help my listeners get to know you better.
Yes.
So the first one is, any advice you would give to a younger you?
Yes. Take action. I feel like I can be so paralyzed. What is it called? Analysis paralysis. That is me to a T. And I can really be held back just by my own insecurities and doubts. And I think now that I've really had to go for it in a few areas, I'm realizing that it's not as scary, you know? So number 1, take action. Number 2, to go along with that is to not take yourself too seriously, Like, I have things to offer to the world and I have knowledge and expertise, but at the same time, like, if I mess up, no one's really gonna care that much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm the only one really thinking about it and really, like, making it a big deal.
Yeah.
If all else fails, you give someone a refund or you apologize or you fix it, Yeah. And that's it. So I think something that's
so heavy as a business owner.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Like I've only had like 1 or 2 instances where people wanted to like return something. I was like, oh man, I hate it.
Oh gosh. Anything like that, it feels so, because you're giving your heart.
Yes.
And like your life, you're investing so much into the things that you do. And so it's so hard to not take it so seriously, but it makes it more fun to be able to say, hey, I'm going to do this because this is a thing I love. This is something I'm passionate about. And I'm going to put it out into the world, and I believe it'll bless other people.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, then okay. So I try to have more of a fun mentality with it and not take myself so seriously and realize that I'm the only one.
Did you take yourself seriously when you were younger?
Oh gosh, yeah. Like I feel like I would have been in the online fitness world a lot sooner.
Yeah.
If I wasn't so stuck in my head and scared and not knowing how to move forward, So I think just being able to take action and like not take myself so seriously. Those are 2 big things. I'm still learning, but if I would have had that advice sooner, I feel like I would be a lot further along in what I'm doing.
Next question. Who is someone that inspires you either in your business or your personal life?
Yeah, that's good. I really love Brene Brown.
Okay.
Who doesn't say Brene Brown? I just love her anti-shame, vulnerability type teachings really affected me. And this is really funny. I hope she listens to this podcast, but Nikki Wilson.
Oh, yeah. She's going to be on the podcast one day.
Yes. Okay. So y'all are in for a treat when she comes on. I've known her for a while, and we did actually an event in Waco together, and we just we've connected over our thoughts about fitness and, overcoming insecurity and all of those things. And so she's someone that I've really looked up to. Yeah. She's really done well with her business and gone for it in huge ways. And so
keeps going.
Oh, yeah.
She hasn't stopped. She's just
she's amazing.
Snowballing.
Yeah. And I think she has a fun attitude about it. And also she's a mom of 3 kids. So I'm in this place where I'm she has a lot that she's learned and that she knows, and she's local and she's my friend, so I just feel connected to her.
We met each other in a mastermind class that Nikki is running. So
yes.
She's awesome.
Yeah. We're learning a lot from her.
Yeah, we are. Next week.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Oh, I can't wait.
So maybe the day this podcast is released, we will be at our mastermind class.
I hope so.
And then I'm just going to end with 3 things you're enjoying right now.
Right now, one thing I'm enjoying, 3 things, but first one is chameleon cold brew. Have you ever had that?
I have not.
Okay, so I'm a coffee fanatic.
Same.
And
I actually just had to buy a water bottle you saw it. It's 64 ounces because I was I have to drink water because I drink too much coffee. That's my downfall.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to tell myself, you are not allowed to put coffee in this. It cannot be 64 ounces of coffee. It has to be water.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I'm terrible about drinking water.
I know. Same.
It's bad. But yeah, and I drink a lot of coffee, which is
I haven't had
the
chameleon, but I've had, I think it's either stock or stoke. S-T-O-K.
It's kind of new, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I haven't had the chameleon.
Yeah. I love chameleon.
So how do you drink your coffee with it?
Well, so you're supposed to dilute it. So it's cold brew.
I've seen it, and it's in a smaller bottle.
Yeah. But it actually, you can get a lot of cups of coffee out of it, but you have to add water to it to dilute it. But for me, instead of adding water, I add milk.
Oh.
So just my regular, we have 2% milk. So I just add that instead of water. And so that's how I dilute it. And that's it. That's all I do. And it's just really good. And I like to add ice to it.
That sounds good.
So coffee. I would say another thing right now, this is such a mom thing. Oh my gosh. My son is into his little walker thing, and it has saved me because there have been so many times where I'm trying to work from home. And there's always that balance of how do I work with kids around? And I luckily only have 1 6-month-old, but that has saved me so many times on days where I really need to do something and he can be entertained in it for a good hour, so
yeah,
I cannot,
I've been there.
I cannot not give that thing a shout out because it's so good. Here's the third one is, my beauty counter charcoal mask.
Yes, I have that too.
Do you have it?
It's so good.
I love it.
I actually need to reorder the charcoal bar.
Oh yeah, I have that too.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah,
it's
I can
so
definitely tell a difference not using it. So
totally. I love the mask, and I am not much of a beauty product person. I rarely wear makeup. I wash my face with bar of soap,
Yeah.
But it really does help my skin. I do it maybe once or twice a week, and it just makes all the difference and makes me feel fresh.
Yeah, especially in the summer. I'm just now in the part of summer when my face is terrible. So clogged. It's just, all the sweat. And
greasy all the time, Yeah. Mine's like that.
Because it's 100+ degrees.
I know. Ugh, crazy.
Thankfully, we've had some rain.
Yes. I hope it continues.
Nice, which has not been much at all. But we actually kind of moved to Waco to get away from all the rain and hurricanes in Southeast Texas. And then we move here and I'm like, okay, it can rain now.
Yeah.
It has not rained in a really long time. But I love it.
I love it too.
And then before I forget, you have to tell everyone where they can find you on social media, your Instagram. Do you have a website?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Yeah, share it.
So my website is alexawiblefitness.com.
Will you spell Wible?
Yes. And I'll spell Alexa too. So that's Alexa, and my last name is Wible. So it's like Bible, but with a W.
Yes.
And then just fitness. So all one word, alexawiblefitness.com. So that has a blog. I do posts on there. I have recipes on there. I started out as a food blogger, so all those recipes are still on there. But then I also have all my info on how to work with me and stuff. And then on Instagram, same thing, just Alexa Wible Fitness, all one word. And then Facebook, is facebook.com/Alexa Wible Fitness. So I kind of made
At least it's all the same.
Yeah, it's all the same. It's hard to maybe spell initially, but then once you get it once, you have it for everything. So,
and then locally, if anyone is listening from Waco and they want to work with you, how would they do that?
Yeah, so you can always email me, alexawible@gmail.com. And I work at the gym in town called Entire Fitness.
Okay.
So you can always go to entirefitness.net, kind of see what the gym is about, and work with me there. You don't have to have a membership to work with me, which is really nice. But, some people just kind of like to scope out, like, what does this place look like? Do I feel comfortable there? So you can always check that out first. But then just email me or connect with me even on social media. If you just send me a DM, I'll respond to that pretty quickly. And then on my website, I also have ways to contact me. So
awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come chat with me.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
I think it was a really good conversation. I liked it. It's definitely going to be one that I have to go back and listen to.